is move on. If you're trying to level up and you want to bring your family back together, the worst thing that you could do is move on. So just go to your core values, man. Simple. Like, she's the one I want. And go think about it differently. Think about it differently, dude. I want you to think about it like this. Think about it if she died instead of moved out. Are you just going to go start looking around because I don't want to be alone, so I'm going to go, you know what I mean?
So for the last couple of days, I was having a pretty, I was just back in that cycle where the resentment was starting to get pretty heavy. I was starting to get, like we did the birthday party with my daughter, and that all went pretty good. But I wasn't, didn't have any expectations. Told the wife, she showed up, which I, again, didn't even have expectations for that. I was assuming she would, but afterward, after the party was almost done, I told her, hey, we're going back to the house. I got this projector screen set up in the backyard. We're gonna do like an outside movie night. I'm going to do an outside movie night with girls. You're more than welcome to come. And she said, I've got plans. I'm going out with Trisha, one of her friends. Okay. It was no big deal, but at the same time, like, it kind of sunk in, like, again, not that I was expecting her to come, but it just started getting to,
So, Kelly, you're resenting the fact that you're leveling up and she's not taking notice. She's not wanting to come back, talk about, you guys moving forward, maybe getting back together, all of that, or what?
Well, it's so I did a lot of that, trying to see from her perspective, and I get it, I often think about how you always say it's her turn, and I'm fine with that, it is her turn. I totally feel that. But where the resentment starts to come in is where I start feeling like, yeah, I'm leveling up and she isn't in a program. She doesn't know. And it's more like, at least when I was trying. I wasn't doing things right, but I was trying, and I didn't quit, and I didn't give up, and I was still, again, I wasn't doing things right, but I never had that I'm done mentality. And for me, I started getting that resentment because it's like she just gave up. I feel betrayed.
Okay. So you got to understand.
I feel like that's, yeah. And now the more that I'm leveling up, the more I'm seeing like,
you're not done. Plus you decide to get to work. Plus, you have all these feelings for her. Plus you want to honor your commitment and she doesn't. Listen, you got to understand, everybody is different. The world is taught to quit. The world is told it's okay to quit. And that's for everything, man. Not just your marriage. People have long since honored their marriage vows, right? And so you can never hold somebody. Well, first of all, you're going to have different opinions anyways, and it just sucks if you have a different opinion on marriage, right? But at the end of the day, you can't hold any kind of resentment towards that, because even if she knows you're in a program, she knows you're leveling up, and she's feeling like she just wants to quit, that's her outside influence. That's society teaching her that values in marriage and commitment and honoring them are not acceptable. Right? Like, she just wants to do what she wants to do because she's still feeling hurt, or she was finally fed up. All you can do with that is understand. Like, that's true validation, is just understand. Society taught her wrong too, right? You got into a program and realized, holy crap, look at all the things that I totally got wrong. And it's all the way we're shown, right? We're not taught to be a man. We're not taught to be showing up without these expectations. We're not taught to be true partners. We think providing is just enough. And I mean, I can go on and on and on. So try to just let that go. Release her, man. Otherwise, it's going to take over your man in power, and you're going to just start saying stupid shit, doing stupid shit, you know?
Well, and so here's where I think the big part of my problem is like I feel like it's me that needs to let go. I feel like it's me that needs to just say, you know what, whatever happens, happens. You know, like let me cut myself off and let me be the one that releases myself. I need to be the one saying, all right, I'm gone. When she figures it out, if she figures it out, you know, everything will work itself out. But the big fear I have in that is that, you know, like where some of these guys in here are is that maybe they, you know, like how long do I wait around, or do I wait around, or, you know, like what happens if something, I don't want something else to pop up. I don't want to, but at the same time, I don't want to be alone.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, there should be no rush. Like, you're still really processing what it is that you want. A little while ago, maybe a month, you were talking about, you know, feeling lonely, right? And, you know, of course you can't go out and fill your cup and go get laid and all that stuff. That's a sexual thing. That's a different kind of topic. But when you're talking about what you truly want, go back to your core values, dude. If you want to still honor that commitment and she doesn't, think about Pete, right? He's not going anywhere. Like, this is what he wants. You're not going to go get the satisfaction from someone else. If she's the one you want, you can't replace that. When you let that go at the moment that you decide, because you'll do some of this roller coaster thing. I mean, your wife's not even living with you. She's really pulling back, right? And so the moment that you stop riding the roller coaster and know it's time to just move on, and sure, like you just said it, if it happens, it happens, or when she starts to realize or whatever. But, you know, like, go back to when you were dating, dude, when you broke up with someone. And most of us nice guys did this, right? Oh, you'll see. You're not going to find anyone like me, and you'll call me back. And fuck, she never called back, no matter who she was. Like, one time in my life, I think, and I had one stalker. You know what I mean? But on a whole, it wasn't happening. But I'll tell you something right now. I was not willing to give up on Catherine. I was not willing to, because that's the commitment that I honored. She was the one that I wanted. And you have to decide if that's who you are.
Yeah, no, that's where I need to work on the patience thing, is because I do, like, and that's where it's a giant fucking tug of war, and I actually caught myself in the cycle. I've kind of realized that, man, I go like 2 or 3 weeks of this going hard and being optimistic and being all about it, and then I start getting into this slump where I'm like, oh man, fuck, nothing, you know, like I'm over it. It's you know.
So when you
I need to move on. And so I catch myself in that cycle.
Hold on. So when you're thinking about patience, do it like this, okay? So I know that your whole marriage wasn't bad. Let's be honest. There was lots of highlights, lots of good stuff, okay? But when a wife says, I'm done, or when a man says he's done, it doesn't really matter. You're not thinking about all those highlights anymore. You're thinking, you wasted my time. It's been bad about this. It's been bad for that. You always do this. You always do that. I'm out, okay? So let's go with that. Right now, that's what she said. She wants a divorce. She's got the paperwork ready to go. She's saying, I'm never doing this again. No, I don't want to spend extra time with you. No, I want to do extra things with the kids, because all she's thinking about is not the good stuff. She's just thinking about the bad. So now go to the patience formula and think about, how many years were you married, right? How many years of those were really bad? Like, if I looked back, right? So in that 4-year stint where Catherine and I were bad, toxic, I was abusive, she was reactive abusive, man, we had a lot of great moments, of course, right? Lots of passion, lots of fun, lots of laughter, until it got to where it was all bad shit, daily fights. So that was 2 years of shit. Plus the fighting started like 30 days, not even, after we were married. So I took it like, well, how long? How long do I need to show up? And sure as shit, it was about 2 years. The really bad fights. That's when she started to check in, when I invited her to start growing, to see that I'm not the same guy. And then we started growing together and rising up together. But I had to be patient. She was not the one I was going to let go. At the end of the day, I couldn't have controlled that either. And I need you to think that way. You need to think about my journey's just begun. You know what I mean?
I do for 99% of the time, but it's just every once in a while that 1% of the time I get to a point where I'm just like, fuck, like I'm exhausted. Is it time? Is it, and then again, I find myself in the other part of the cycle and I get back up and fuck no, I'm not done,
well, here's where
I boost my morale back up.
Here's where you have to be really careful, right? So she starts dating somebody else, let's say, okay? And then you start to go, fuck it, right? Now, I'm not saying that you couldn't get back together if you both dated somebody, but the more that you push the direction the other way, the least likely that's going to happen. You're not going to bring your family back together, right?
Well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Like if you just think about it, when she's done and she checks out and she says you don't care, you're not going to change, you're not going to do any of this stuff, right? What's the worst thing that you could do? Is move on. If you're trying to level up and you want to bring your family back together, the worst thing that you could do is move on. So just go to your core values, man. Simple. Like, she's the one I want. And go think about it differently. Think about it differently, dude. I want you to think about it like this. Think about it if she died instead of moved out. Are you just going to go start looking around because I don't want to be alone, so I'm going to go, you know what I mean?
Well, so and that's what I was trying to get out was part of it is where it's not so much that I'm necessarily like ready to move on and start dating other people and just call it quits. Where I'm more or less thinking of the in terms of, okay, I'm done trying. I'm done, with the being the player. It's more like just straight magnet. I'm just going to go do my thing. Whenever we drop the kids off, I come in, especially, I'll either have A, their lunch is ready, or B, if it's short notice, I get to the house, make the lunches. Oh, there's some dishes in the sink. I show up, I get, and I start getting to the point where I'm just like, you know what, maybe I'll just drop the kids off the driveway, go live my life, go, not that I'm necessarily saying I'm done and I'm over you, but getting to a point where like, I'm done being the...
Yeah, I think you should look at this totally differently, dude. Think about it like, you can definitely still be a great co-parent, but it's not actually normal to go into her house and do the fucking dishes if she's in a different place.
I
don't
do the dishes. It's not... I don't mean it like that. Like, I don't just start picking up chores, but if there's 2 or 3 in the sink, I'll pull the dishes, the washing machine down. If they're dirty, I add them. If not...
I don't know. I would pull back on stuff like that anyway, right? Okay. It's, you know what I mean? Like, think about it a little bit differently. She's completely pulling back, doesn't even want to spend birthdays together right now. But you're going to do, the 3 dishes on the counter. Be a good lover. Affirm something. Be a good player. Make her laugh, right? Be an awesome man with kids in front of her, right? Make sure your place is spotless when she comes over to your house. Make sure you're fixing the shit around your house when she comes over to your house, right? Now, this would not always be the case. I've had guys where I'm like, yes, certainly. But it's more like fix the front step because you saw it was broken. You're not going to do her laundry. You have a home. She's choosing not to live there, right? So careful you fall. Otherwise, you look like you're just totally sucking up, just like, do something sweet. Think man at play. Don't think man at home when your wife's in a different house. Okay?